Up is Folgers in your cup. The new Titleist AP irons, advanced performance for your game.
Back on Morning Drive, and folks, the 61st PGA Merchandise Show ended yesterday, but not before a lot of conversation, including Ted Bishop, Tim Rosaforte, and our own Gary Williams.
All right, thanks very much. It is always a pleasure when we have the president of the PGA of America, we call him number 38, Ted Bishop, with us, and of course our colleague, our Golf Channel insider, senior writer at Golf World magazine, Tim Rosaforte, is with us as well. And Ted, there's a very good reason, as you wrap up this monstrous week with the 61st PGA Merchandise Show, to have Tim here. You have a special honor to announce.
Well, we do, Gary, and as president of the PGA of America, it gives me great pleasure to announce today that Tim Rosaforte is the PGA of America Lifetime Achievement Award winner in journalism, and he's the 25th recipient, and I can't think of anybody better to give this award to than Tim.
Well, Ted, you know, I'm extremely grateful and humbled by this. I mean, you know how much it meant to me. Ted called me to give me the news when I was driving up the Turnpike to come up and do some Golf Centrals, and immediately went into shock, start crying. I mean, I'm lucky I made it up there that day. But, you know, you look at the list, Gary, as you have, and it's a Mount Rushmore of golf journalism and also American sports writing, international sports writing. And I still don't believe I belong on it, deserve to be there, don't have the talent of all those people, many of the people on that list. And didn't dedicate myself to the Golf Writers Association, although I was a president like some of the past presidents on that list. And so to sit here and to have this award at this point in my life, I'm grateful to the PGA for instituting it in '91, and to be the 25th there. In some respects, it feels like you know, if I was ever going to get there, it would be down the road. But you know, at the same time, I think maybe it speaks to, if I'm there, it speaks to the fact that I've made this crossover into TV, and I've done it both ways. As somewhat of a pioneer, but at the same time, you know, as a person that believes in the story. And Red Smith Reader really impacted me when I read that in the 80s, and he said I wanted to be known as a great reporter. And I never thought of Red as that, but then you dive into his material. He's a great writer, not only because he's a great wordsmith, stuff that I could never do, but he was a great writer because of his reportage and his ability to take the story and to blend it with his voice.
You mentioned the Mount Rushmore, just a small sampling. The likes of Furman Bisher and Dan Jenkins and Jack Whitaker and Herb Wind. These are men that are also in the World Golf Hall of Fame. And Ted, the criteria, there are a lot of very accomplished writers. Why Tim? Why this year? I mean, he's a young man. Look at how vibrant he is at 58.
Well, I think, you know, one of the really impressive things about Tim winning this award, Gary, is the fact that his peers at the Golf Writers Association determined for the PGA of America who wins the award. And I know just in my dealings with Tim over the past year, we've had a few phone calls on some of the controversial topics in golf. He's asked me for a comment. I trust him. He's the kind of person you can always share information with, and you know that he's going to use it in the right way. But I have a question that's been killing me, and I really want to ask.
I'm not going to tell you how I got Tom Watson.
No, I don't. I'm not going to ask you how you found out Tom Watson was going to be the Ryder Cup captain. I want to know when you found out he was going to be
Ted,
the Ryder Cup
I can't give you any of that. You know, I'm not going to give that up to you. You know, it used to be a joke down at the PGA of America when I was at the Palm Beach Post, Gary. You know, we used to. It wasn't a contest, but I always would try to get the Ryder Cup captain just before the news conference, and Julius Mason and Joe Steranka, the former CEO, they would go nuts because I would hit it like 80% of the time. And you know, scoops are scoops. You don't build a legacy on that, Ted, as you know. It's part of the whole fabric of doing what I do and what all the golf writers do and all the golf journalists do, is to try to get ahead on stuff. So I'm not going there, Ted. I'm sorry. I love you. I love the award, but I can't give that up.
The great writer will always protect the source. A few people found out about this in advance of this announcement. Who have you heard from that you're a sentimental guy, Tim? Who touched you by picking up the phone?
Well, I've got the email. I should have brought it. December 19th, I got an email from Jack Whitaker. And, you know, growing up in New York, reading all the New York sports writers and developing a yearning to become a golf writer, a sports writer someday, rather. I always watched Whitaker, and just like nobody can be Dan Jenkins, nobody can be Jack Whitaker, but I love Whitaker because his ability to be a reporter, but also to get up there at the end of the event, as you know, and to encapsulate what you just saw and tell you some things that you didn't know about. And even as I was doing Golf Central last weekend, and the whole story came up with Patrick Reed and his caddy Jamie Carrane and his wife Justine, and then having to write that on deadline and to nail it in one take under pressure was what Whitaker used to do. So if I channel anybody when I do this job, I try to channel Jack. And to get a out of nowhere, he was a voter because he's a past recipient. To get that email, it really struck me about where my career has gone, and I know Jack, and which made it even better. I had a chance to have lunch with him at the U.S. Open last year at Marion.
All right, and Ted, I want you to respond to this because you're a very astute observer of how the game is covered. What has changed the most since you started doing this?
Well, sadly, there are less newspaper writers there, Ted. You go in press rooms now, and from Kapalua right on up to the Open Championship, and even somewhat at Augusta, although that media center does seem packed. It's different now. There's more websites. There are less guys from the Plain Dealer there, from the Free Press, from the Rochester paper, from the San Diego. Well, San Diego's there, but there are a lot of papers that just don't have the golf writer as I grew up being molded. And so now it's more internet writing, and it's a different style, it's a different form. Although it has evolved to a little bit longer form, but it's a different game now in a sense. And especially you take that and even take it to the next level with Twitter, and how I broke that Tom Watson story was on Twitter because I work for Golf Digest, Golf World, and also for the Golf Channel. So I just did it that way. It was my way of getting the word out. And so that has also become part of this, and it's become everybody's a reporter now. I used to be in 04, 02 for working for NBC. I would do this 90-second to 2-minute hits with Tommy Roy on what's going on in the team room. And now, as the years have evolved, as more Golf World people, you see them in scrums talking to people. You see more Golf Channel people. Dan Hicks is a reporter. Gary Williams is a reporter. Damon Hack's a reporter. Everybody. Nota Begay, I got to try to take one step ahead of Nota Begay. It's become harder and harder to do my job, which is part of the fun of it, the challenge of it, to really dig down, find the story behind the story, and to develop that. Is kind of the trick, and it becomes increasingly more difficult with more eyeballs, more people on the ground, trying to do and get the inside story like I'm trying to get.
Ted, what looks and sounds different in all the years you've been watching this as somebody who's also trying to grow the game?
I think the thing that really has impressed me with how the golf media deals with our sport is I think there's a level of respect, Gary, that the media has. And when somebody like Tim is trying to get the story, they know sometimes the uncomfortable lines not to cross when they're trying to get information from people like me. And I think that it's a credit really to the overall integrity and the public image of golf today in terms of what people like Tim who cover the sport do and how they handle it. And as I sit here and I listen to some of his opinions on golf media, the thing that's also interesting to me, the golf media kind of reflect what we see at the golf courses today. You don't see a lot of younger reporters. You don't see a lot of younger people in the golf media. They're all kind of you're young compared to what you see when you go into those press tents and who's doing all this stuff at the major championships. And you kind of wonder who the next generation of Tim Rosafortes are going to be.
Well, you keep doing the hot yoga. You keep riding that bike. You're a young man. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award and very well earned, but I know that you're only in the third quarter of this thing. You haven't even put up this yet.
I haven't done yet. That's part of this is the uncomfortable nature of this award is because, honestly, I don't feel like I peaked yet. I don't know what the crescendo is. I don't know where the finish line is. I don't want to know. I want to win Emmys. I want to win more awards. I want to write great stories day to day. I want to come in here and grind it out for Golf Central and then write a column for Golf World Monday and then turn around and write a Rosaforte report. I mean, the day to day of this world that I'm in is what it's all about. And sorry.
Well, Phil went into the Hall of Fame and then won the Open Championship.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like Mickelson or else or some of these fellows who go in early when they feel like they have more out there to do and to win and to achieve. And so anyway, this motivates me even more and keeps me on the horse. And hopefully we're doing this for many years to come, Ted, and hopefully I get up a chance and sometime get some time to hit the golf ball around and get up to your place in Indiana.
I'd love that, Tim.
Thanks, bud.
Well, congratulations, Tim, and Ted, thank you, and thank you for allowing Golf Channel to participate in this year's merchandise show as well.
Well, no, we want to say thanks to you. And you know, when I did my club newsletter last week, and I said of all the people that have never been to a PGA merchandise show, I said, this is your opportunity. Go to the show via the Golf Channel. And you guys did a great job this week.
Well, thank you. Thank you both.
Gentlemen, thank you, and Tim, congratulations on your award. And speaking of awards, Tiger Woods has won a few in his day, but what's going on in San Diego with the world #1 and Stanford Cardinal? Can he close the gap? He's 9 shots back. We'll discuss when we return. Stay with us.